Hello everyone, my name is Akal, and what I want to tell you about in this video is how to convert any exercise into a sexual transmutation practice. I would say this video is for dudes who tend to be tormented by their sexual energy, and your desire is to retain the charge, is to retain and circulate the energy. So the key word here is circulate. So you can find videos out there. I'm not going to name names, but you can find videos out there where guys say, "Oh, sexual transmutation is it's when you shift your attention," right? Well, that's kind of true, right? So if you shift your attention, energy flows to where the attention goes, and this is an absolute truth. Now the issue is, well, let me give you an example really quick. So let's say you're feeling super aroused, super horny, like you just distracted by it, right? So one of the things that I've seen is that guys will be like, "Oh, you go knock out 50 push-ups." And by the way, if you're doing 50 push-ups, that's great, fantastic, keep it up. So if you go knock out 50 push-ups, then it did something, right? You shifted your attention. So in theory, the energy flows to now your pectorals or whatever it is. So there's something missing there, though. The energy is not circulated, right? You haven't circulated the energy. All you've done is you've shifted your attention or your focus. Now, is the energy still concentrated? The life force energy is still concentrated around the genitals, because that by definition is what sexual energy is. It is life force energy, which is the same energy for digestion and intellectual functioning and all this sort of thing. It is simply life force energy as it's concentrated around the sexual center, the second chakra, whatever you want to call it. So when this energy is concentrated there, it cultivates a feel. Well, what rises from that is the horny feeling. So what we're wanting to do with this, with my particular approach, is to connect to that energy, to feel it. It's not about ignoring it or turning your back on it or repressing it. It's about circulating the energy. So how do you do that? Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to demonstrate it with a simple exercise. Well, it's not that simple. To me, this is the greatest core exercise of all time, and it is called stretch pose. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate stretch pose really quick. So let me go ahead and angle the camera down. Please be patient with me. So stretch pose is you lie on your back. So you're lying on your back. You have your legs elevated about maybe 6 inches to a foot. Your palms on top of the thighs, chin tucked. Internally rotate the hips. Toes, I have pointed. Eyes focused on the toes. Do a couple long, deep breaths. All right, so I just did that for like 4 or 5 breaths. All right, that's it. So that is a core exercise. Is for the abdominals, obviously. Like I was suspended. I held myself up like so. My core was engaged. Again, hips internally rotated. Now the details of the exercise are important. Now, what I do after I do that exercise is the sexual transmutation part. In theory, this next step of the procedure you could do before the exercise if you wish. I do it after. I think it's equally as effective either way, probably. So what you want to do after you do your exercise, you do it to fatigue. What you want to do is you want to take a deep breath in, retain the breath. And while retaining the breath, you want to draw your awareness to your genitalia. Start to pulse, contract, contract, relax, contract, relax, contract, relax, contract, relax, okay? So you're doing that until you feel a sexy sensation, the horny feeling. Sometimes it manifests as heat or tingling, whatever the sensations are, right? And then usually what I do is, because like I've just done an exercise, so I'm slightly fatigued, is I take a little more air in. Usually I contract and relax a little bit more. And again, you just do it until you feel something. And it doesn't have to be a strong feeling, very subtle, right? So now the circulation aspect is, when I talk about this word circulation, part of this pulsing and contracting is what you're doing is you're connecting your mind to the sex center. So in and of itself, this starts to circulate the energy in the body. The contracting and relaxing is the conscious engagement of the nervous system. And when you consciously engage the nervous system, it does what? Well, it starts to move energy as well. So the final step here is, after you've contracted and relaxed the genitals, you got some sort of sensation there, is you start to exhale. But as you're exhaling, you're pulling what they call Mula Bondo, or root lock. This helps seal the, I don't want to go into the esoterics, but it seals the areas where energy can sink or get lost through the lower chakras. So in other words, you're sealing the lower chakras and you're pressurizing upward. In yoga, the bandhas, they have Mula Bandha, or root lock. There's diaphragm lock, which I believe is called Uddiyana Bandha. There's neck lock. I can never pronounce that one. But essentially what the locks do, and then there's some other little locks you can do, like rolling the eyes up towards the brow point or the crown, touching the tongue to the roof of the mouth. There's a number of different locks you can do, and when you connect them all together, it's called Mahabandha. But for our purposes, we're just going to do the root lock, and this will start to pressurize the energy upward towards one's solar plexus. So what you do is again, as you're exhaling, you contract the anus, the perineum. Again, the perineum is the space between the anus and the genitals, and then you pull in the belt line, and that is called Mula Bandha, or root lock. And again, this will pressurize the energy upward. And so you hold that for a brief period, think 5 seconds, 6 seconds, whatever it is. Then you relax it, inhale, exhale, and you go on to your next set, or next exercise. Excuse me. So hopefully that was generally clear. I'm going to go ahead and verbally describe that one more time. All right, so if I'm the dude who's got the video out there who says, yeah, do your sexual transmutation practice, all you do is you do a bunch of push-ups. This is what he should have done, right? So what he should have done is either connect to the sexual energy first or after, but you do your push-ups, right? Boom, 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 boom. You knock out 10, 15, 20 push-ups, whatever it is. Then inhale, retain the breath, right? While retaining the breath, you start to contract and relax the genitalia. Contract, relax, contract, relax. Wait for a feeling or sensation to rise. Again, that's the horny feeling, heat, tingling, whatever it may be. So once it is risen, what's the correct word? Risen, I guess. Anyway, once you feel it, then you pull root lock. Again, this seals the root, pressurizes the energy upward. So you contract the anus, the perineum, the genitals. You pull in the belt line, exhaling all the air out. Hold it out briefly. Relax root lock. Inhale. Exhale. And go about your routine to your next exercise. The reason that is way more effective is you've done a couple things. One, you've connected to the energy. Two, you've used the mind to integrate various parts of the body. And you have to think about this word sutra, or to suture, or to weave together. And that is what a sexual transmutation practice is meant to be. It is meant to weave together various aspects of the body. So in the example I gave you with the stretch pose, I engaged my core. I engaged my hips. I engaged my toes. I engaged my hands. I engaged my eyes because I was looking at my toes. I engaged my belly, through contracting and relaxing as I was breathing. I engaged the diaphragm. So I've engaged multiple areas of the body. What does that do? That draws energy to all those areas, right? Then I engaged the sex center by, again, inhaling, retaining the breath. After I did the exercise, inhaling and retaining the breath, contracting and relaxing the genitals until I felt the sexy feeling, and pulling root lock. So hopefully all that's clear. Hopefully you understand that, and hopefully you can apply this because it is incredibly simple. It takes, at the end of every set or the beginning of every set, whenever you want to do it, it should take maybe 15 seconds or however long you can retain your breath, really. So with all that said, thank you for watching. Oh, one more thing. I offer sexual energy coaching. Almost forgot my sales pitch. So sexual energy coaching, just so you know, it's something I offer. It's a 6-week program, a 6-week progression. It can be done online or in person if you happen to live in the city of Chicago. And the 6-week progression is representative of what? A 40-day period, which is absolutely spiritual, a spiritual period of time. It's absolutely biblical, and it's what I learned as I was getting my master's in physiology. I learned that in order for the nervous system to adapt to a new pattern, let's say weight training is a good example, it takes 40 days of a repeated pattern before the nervous system integrates it. So anyway, the 6-week sexual energy program, if you're interested in learning more, please check out my website, which is down below the video. And on the website, you will have my email is linked. Well, rather, the email is posted on the website. You can contact me if you want further clarification as to what the program is. So with all that said, thank you for watching.